Alright guys, I just want to say first thing first, excuse my absence. Got a new career that kind of took up a lot of my time in the last few months. I haven't even been in my own city. That's the first thing I wanted to start off with, but I'm definitely going to be more on track with my picks on Instagram for you guys. So just go ahead and give me a quick follow. Quick follow there. I'll stay updated on it. I'll put in all my final picks whether I upload a video or not. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the picks for the play-in. We're now in the postseason for Liga MX, so we're going to get into the only two games we got on Thursday to determine the last two winners of the final 8. Let's get into it. First game up for Thursday, we got Atlas and Chivas Guadalajara. They are going to actually be playing in Chivas' stadium. Still, neither team is really at home. This is a hometown rivalry for sure. Now, should Chivas be favored? I think they should. I just don't think that this line justifies it. Minus 120, and Chivas hasn't exactly been dominant. They're definitely better this season than they have been in the last two seasons, but they still just have problems finding the back of the net. Atlas, hit or miss. The only reason we somewhat can look in their direction, I'm a fan. I'm going to be honest, first of all, so I'm always going to look in their direction as much as I can. But we usually get big plus prices with Atlas. Now, I am betting this as a fanboy, so if you don't want to follow it, I completely get why. So that's why I do have my personal picks up. I'm taking them on the money line, and I'm taking them on the double chance. I'm getting minus 105 with a hometown rivalry that pretty much stays close most of the time, at least within recent years. Back then, Chivas was the dominant, and ever since we've seen Atlas with that double championship win, 2020, 2021, that gap has been a lot closer. So Atlas is definitely a more competitive team against their hometown rivals, against the bigger hometown rivals, as they like to call it. So Chivas is the big brother, but lately that hasn't really looked like it too much. So if you don't want to take a side, or if you don't want to take the side that I'm on, obviously I'm taking it as a fanboy, so that kind of loses some credit. If you would think Chivas is the rightful favorite and they're going to win in their own stadium, by all means take them. I just don't see it. I just can't get there, especially at minus 120. Honestly, if this was at around plus 110, plus 115, maybe I might have to fade my own team, but usually fading my own team has not been fun for me. So if you want something else, I definitely think this game is going to go under. The last couple games have been going over. I just don't think we see a repeat of that again. It's just, is this gonna be their fourth game facing each other that's gonna go over? I don't see it. The last three have went over. This one, I think it's gonna be a tighter game. I think it's gonna be under, especially with this international break thing that's been going on. That kind of just, usually we come back to some boring games. Most of the games are boring, at least. We only have two. I think only one of them is going to be a barn burner, and I don't think it's going to be this one. I think it's going to be a tight game for a full 90 minutes. So I would say under. If you guys want a quick plus money play, I would say go first half, draw. The money line, draw money line in the first half. That one's a little bit over plus money. I believe it's about plus 105, plus 110, right around there. I think we're going to see a tight game most of the game, but I think that's the lowest price line for a reason in the first half. You know, both of the teams, you're getting plus 150, plus 180. I think it's like plus 180 for the Chivas money line in the first half, and I think like plus 250 for the Atlas money line in the first half. And the draw is way lower. I think it's for good reason. I think the books are telling us, they're showing us their hand. They're showing us their cards. So I'm going to play first half draw on the money line. The under is too juiced for me. Maybe I can even go for an under 2, but even then, I think this game could easily be 1-1, and then they decide this in overtime. So first half draw on the money line, and then I'm taking my team on the money line. So that's my final thoughts on this game alone. All right, second game of the night for Thursday, play-in tournament, playing for the last spots in the actual playoffs. So we got Tijuana at home and America coming in. This America team has been the weakest it has been in the last 3 seasons, and even then, they're still pretty competitive. So I say we should not be overlooking them. They're just not that monster that they were last season, but that's okay. This should be for a fun matchup because this Tijuana team is definitely not the trash team that it was the last 2 seasons. They're finally in the postseason after 2-3 dry seasons. So hats off to them. This should be a very fun game actually. A weak in America versus a stronger Tijuana. Good clash in my opinion. Now, I got a player prop to start off with you guys. I don't do too many of these, but I think Henry Martin scores, guys. We just saw Henry Martin be the hero for Mexico. Well, him and Raul Jimenez, both of them, hero for Mexico. I swear I was cheering like a happy child on Christmas morning. Yesterday when they played Honduras, got that 4-0 win, and El Nemesio Diaz, Henry Martin scored 2 goals in that game, and I think he comes in fired up. He's ready. He's in form. He's pretty much one of the only players in America who's, well, there's some other players too, but Henry Martin is one of the a more familiar, more star player that got good minutes and made a big impact. So I think he's ready to go, and I think he scores another one in Tijuana. Playing on the road is nothing he's shy of. So I don't think it matters which stadium in Mexico. I think Henry Martin can find the back of the net. So give me Henry Martin to score a goal for America, plus 135. I'm also going to take America on just straight up on the money line, plus 115. They're a short favorite, again, because they're just not the same team, but they're still competitive, especially against a Tijuana team they barely got into this playoff spot, but this is a big jump from what they were 2 to 3 seasons ago. But I do think they come up short. If I lose, I lose, but still, I think just America's still a better team. And just like we were saying last season, this America team still has depth. They're just not dominant, but they still have quite a bit to compete with. It doesn't even matter what team is there in this league. Until Cruz Azul wins that big one, then you guys can tell me Cruz Azul is the most dominant, but they've choked the last couple of years. I know they have one recent championship in the last 3 or 4 years, 4 or 5, something like that. I don't remember which year they won. I know it wasn't that long ago, but still, this America team just is very deep. They got very deep as far as players on the bench, their main starting lineup. They still have that depth, but they are capable of choking just like any other team. But still, I don't think they should be overlooked. Plus 115, plus 205. I think these teams are priced rightfully where they should be. Lines are very tight. So for me, it's going to be money line America. I think they just have bigger depth, more playoff experience, more than Tijuana in more recent years, for sure.